Hey folks, Dude here, coming at you on Thursday, October 22nd, 2015. And yes, we are one day past the Back to the Future day. We're pretty much, Doc and Marty went back to the present future, what it was. And, there was the hoverboards and the flying cars. And of course, Pepsi Perfect. This isn't Pepsi Perfect, and no, this is not an illusion. This is one of these little dinky ass cans for the Pepsi True. And, I'm simply just going to use this as my standard prop because it's what I got. I'm not going to have one of those Pepsi Perfect, baseball bat looking things that everybody's going completely gonkers over because you can't get them. There was a run of only 6,500 of them. Of that, some of them have been shut off by Pepsi to other YouTubers for them to actually go, see, I got the bottle. My precious, my precious. But, the other thing about it is it's a bottle of soda, okay? And it's a bottle of soda that really truly only has its point of reference of being in a movie from the 80s. Okay, so you're talking about a soda bottle with a reference 20 plus years ago, okay? It's not like the most relevant thing ever on planet Earth. Of course, USA Today went out of their way to make the front page of their, I'm going to say charitably, newspaper, have the front page that basically was looking like the front page when Marty McFly was looking at the USA Today describing, all these happenstance things about like things happening in Hill Valley. Why things happening in Hill Valley makes, the front page of USA Today, I don't have a clue, but case in point, these companies are desperate for any kind of press, any kind of notoriety, and they're jumping on the bandwagon. The only company, I'm going to say this most expressly, the only company that really can lay claim to absolute and incredible press about any part of the Back to the Future franchise is going to be that company that actually did the Back to the Future franchise, which was Universal. Now, of all those things, I've actually been down to Florida numerous times. I actually got married in Disney. I know, pretty much Kissimmee, Orlando, Tampa, that area. I've been literally all over the place. I've been to Randall Knives. I've been out east. I hit the Kennedy Space Center. I've been literally all over that whole section of Florida. As a matter of fact, one of my best buddies now is down on the Space Coast, or the east coast of Florida, about 120 miles away from Disney. So more than likely, I'm going down to his place and hanging out for a while. So that's not even a question of how that one's going to have happen. But going down to, your Orlando Universal, they had this really sad, very sad looking, decrepit Doc Brown special DeLorean sitting outside getting absolutely baked in the Florida sun. Take your average old car in the junkyard, make it look like a DeLorean, time traveling car, let it sit outside and bake in the Florida sun for 20 years. That's what it looked like. Most emblematic, let me just show you an example of the picture like this one here. All right, so we're back, man. That was not even expressing to you how sad this thing was looking in person, man. This car was in tatters. But anyway, they had the Back to the Future ride. And the Back to the Future ride essentially was pretty cool. Now, the thing about it was the Back to the Future ride is now the Simpsons ride. That's right. They literally re-gigged the thing to basically have you in a room in this kind of car that moves around and does some kind of goofy stuff. It never leaves the room. But there's projection all around you, and you're seeing all this stuff going on that, is also in place with the car jumping around and doing all this various axes of movement, and you're getting buffeted around, and all these things are jumping out at you like, like you basically take a dive, the thing basically leans you way over, and you're about ready to fall out of the chair, and there's a dinosaur coming at you. Now, forget if it was 3D or not, but that was actually a pretty good ride. The DeLorean sitting outside and baking was to say, see, here's the ride. Well, that ride has now been rejiggered around, and it's now the Simpsons ride. And I've ridden both of these, okay? Literally, I rode one, then I rode the other. The difference between the two, not a whole hell of a lot. As a matter of fact, I didn't even think they took the base program for the Back to the Future ride and said, okay, make the Simpsons stuff fit in its place. All these little cues and everything that it did before, make the cartoon fit into that template. Because trying to reprogram the thing is going to be a whole hell of a lot of work. And I've ridden most, if not all of the rides down in Universal, Florida. And there was something that they referred to as the Dueling Dragons. Well, that's now Harry Potter land. They left. Universal's really good at recycling stuff. Those two things are still in place. There is a red one and a blue one, obviously, but now they've been painted up to be like the Harry Potter this one, the Harry Potter that one. And they're two opposing roller coasters side by side. One is better than the other. Note to folks who are going to go down there, the cheat, here's the way you get through there. Here's the cheat. You get off of one, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Cut through the diaper change area and get on the other roller coaster. Never leave the lines. Just keep cutting from one to the other, going through the diaper change area. Mrs. Dude and I did that. We rode those things until we were sick of them. That's the cheat, okay? Now, also, going down there and seeing the Back to the Future stuff in person was kind of cool. But when I went down there, even when I went down there, it was dated, okay? It is like okay stuff for its time period, but it is dated. Now, it's a Simpsons ride. It's really, really dated. Universal sometimes does stuff on the cheap. If you go down there on a really flippin' hot day, you're screwed, man. There's like only one or two places to cool off. It's not like Disney where you can bunny hop, cold place, pop out of the AC, walk round, got to cool off, go into another store. Disney is ridiculous for leaving the doors open and everything, and the AC screaming. So you walk out to the street, and there's actually like almost like a cool area, and then like going down to like the really smoking hot area. But if you start getting too hot in Disney, you just dump into something, and you'll cool off because there's AC everywhere. Universal, not nearly as much. As a matter of fact, if you're in Universal, you want to make sure you have a Ziploc bag with you at all times so you can throw your phone into it and hit a water ride to cool off. That is the only way you're cooling off in Universal quick, is you're getting on one of them splashy-ass rides that really hoses you. Now, in terms of this Back to the Future thing and all the soda stuff going on, they are now getting $300 for these bottles on eBay. 2 days, barely, not even 2 days after the fact. $300 for the bottles of soda. Yeah, it's still Pepsi soda, man. There's nothing really all that crazy about it. The big thing is, it's Pepsi soda in a goofy-ass bottle. Does it make it better? No, but it does make it Pepsi soda that's desirable, collectible, and these goofballs are going to go, I gotta have it! Just like that USA Today thing. People are probably printing it out and, of course, framing good copies of it. Or, they went out to the newsstand and bought that issue of USA Today, which is going to be one of the very rare instances where they've sold out all their newspapers for probably a very long time. I'm going to break up this one, folks. Eat good, keep it centric. As always, you know it, you love it. Back to the Future Day is now past, but the goofball stuff continues. Well, that's the way it is. See you guys.